Congratulations on the purchase of your new Tennant Sentinel Power Sweeper. Not only will this machine perform well with its highly efficient sweeping and dust control systems the day you receive it, but for a long time to come. Along with an understanding of the control systems and how to operate the machine, this video will teach you the steps required to affirm the machine is ready to perform effectively. You'll also learn the processes of emptying and cleaning the machine and what post-operational checks should be performed. It is the operator's responsibility to fully understand the operation of the machine and to adhere to all safety-related issues as addressed in the operator's manual. Before using the machine, refer to the operator's manual for complete instructions on how to safely operate it. First, let's review the way the Sentinel works. As the machine is propelled forward with the sweeping systems turned on, debris is pulled from the sides of the machine path by the side brush and into the path of the main sweeping brush. The main sweeping brush throws the debris into a compartment where a conveyor system carries it up to a hopper opening on the top front side of the debris hopper. To facilitate dust control, a set of vacuum fans pull air and dust from the main brush compartment through the conveyor system and into the hopper, where a synthetic water-resistant filter removes the dust from the air. The clean air is then exhausted to the rear of the machine. Next, we'll explain how the control functions work and how to operate the machine. The directional control switch is mounted on the instrument panel to the left of the steering wheel. This switch has three positions: a forward position for forward travel, a neutral position when not propelling, and a rear position for travel in reverse. The directional switch must be in the neutral position when starting the engine due to a safety interlock. The hand control throttle to the left of the directional switch sets the RPM of the engine. For proper machine operation, set the RPM in the marked area on the tachometer display. The propelling speed control is a foot-operated pedal. This pedal is used for normal sweeping speed control and transporting the machine to the sweeping location or dump site. The service brake pedal should be used to stop the machine. Pressing the brake pedal will also illuminate the brake lights located on the rear of the machine to alert persons around the machine you are stopping. The steering wheel can be tilted to the operator's comfort. You will find the engine instrument panel to the operator's left. An analog tachometer indicates engine speed. A digital RPM readout is to the right of the analog tachometer. When sweeping, the engine RPM should range from 1600 RPM to 1900 RPM. If the engine exceeds 2000 RPM, the sweeping systems will stop working and the brush icon next to the tachometer will flash until the RPM is reduced to the proper speed. With the engine at the proper RPM, pressing the sweeping switch restarts the sweeping systems. Miles per hour or kilometers per hour are shown just to the right of the analog tachometer and indicate the machine propelling speed. The coolant temperature gauge is located in the upper left-hand portion of this panel. If the light is flashing, it is indicating that the coolant temperature is above the acceptable range. The engine should be turned off and the problem corrected. The fuel level indicator is located in the lower left-hand portion of the panel. If the gauge is flashing, the fuel level is low. The gauge in the upper right portion of the panel indicates oil pressure. If the gauge is flashing, oil pressure is below the acceptable range. The engine should be shut off and the problem corrected. The charging system status gauge is located in the lower right portion of the instrument panel. If the gauge is flashing, the charging system is malfunctioning and the problem should be corrected. Total hours and total miles or kilometers driven are also indicated. On the center console are 8 indicator lights. From left to right on the top row, you will find the high beam headlight indicator. It lights when the headlights are on high beam. The parking brake on indicator lights when the parking brake is set. The turn signal and four-way flashers on indicator flashes when the turn signals or four-way flashers are on. And the glow plug on indicator illuminates when the ignition switch is held in the accessory position. Once the light goes off, the engine can be started. From left to right on the bottom row is first the air filter clogged indicator. It is lit when the engine air filter is dirty and airflow is restricted. When this light is on, air filter service is required. Next, you will find a low water indicator on machines with wet dust control systems. It lights when the water level is low. The vacuum wand door down indicator lights when the machine is configured for vacuum wand usage. On high dump machines, a hopper weight overload indicator light is located on the instrument panel. When the indicator light is lit, the hopper contains the maximum amount of weight that can be lifted to the high dump position. If the operator continues to sweep once this light is on, the machine will still function as a low dump machine. If the sweeper is a low dump machine, the light means the hopper is overloaded and will not tilt to dump. The hopper door can be opened to offload debris. Below these indicator lights are the heater, cab pressurizer, and optional air conditioner control knobs. The parking brake switch is also located on the center console. This switch controls the parking brake electrically and is illuminated when the parking brake is on. When the parking brake is set, the propelling system is disabled. To the left of the parking brake switch is an override switch that can be used if the engine shuts down due to low oil pressure or overheating. This momentary switch must be held while starting the engine and while moving the machine out of traffic. This switch must not be used for prolonged periods because engine damage can occur. A high dump incline indicator light tells the operator that the machine is on too much of an incline to safely high dump. The high dump hopper lift system is disabled when the indicator is lit. A brake failure indicator is located above the high dump incline indicator light. If this light is on, the machine must be parked and a qualified service person notified. The operational controls of the machine are located on a touch panel above the engine instrument panel. After the machine is started and warmed up, engine speed can be increased and the sweeping switch can be pressed. This will lower and start the main sweeping brush, the debris conveyor, and the dust control vacuum fans. When the sweeping switch is pressed again, the main brush and conveyor will lift and turn off. The dust control vacuum fans will also turn off. If you are sweeping with the side brushes on and down when you press the main sweeping switch, they will raise and turn off. If the sweeping switch is pressed again, they will lower and turn on with the rest of the sweeping systems. The switches on the touch control panel can independently control the side brush or brushes. Pressing either the side brush switch or the vacuum system switch will turn off the unneeded function. Pressing the dust filter shaker switch will activate the shaker system to shake the filters clean. When the switch is pressed, a timed cycle event will occur. In extremely dusty environments, you should use the shaker system often. When using the shaker system, engine speed should be set to idle for best filter cleaning performance. Pressing the vacuum fan switch will activate the vacuum fans without turning the sweeping systems on. The fans can be used for drying the filter after washing the hopper and filter or after picking up water-soaked debris. If the conveyor or brush systems become jammed with debris, an alarm will sound continuously to alert the operator of the condition. The operator should immediately stop the machine, reduce engine RPM, and press the conveyor reverse switch. This will start the conveyor running in reverse. This unjams the conveyor and brush assembly. By returning the switch to the normal position, the machine returns to normal sweeping mode. If you hear the alarm chirp, you may only have to slow down to allow the machine to load the hopper without overloading the hydraulic system. If the machine is equipped with the wet dust control system, you can improve dust control by pressing the water pump switch to activate the optional water pump. This pump dispenses water in front of the side or vario brush assemblies through nozzles. The flow volume to each brush is controlled by the flow control valves on the center console to the left of the operator. The pump switch and the flow control valves should be turned off when not in use. Pressing and holding the hopper tilt-back switch causes the hopper to tilt rearward for dumping. An indicator light will flash to inform the operator of the hopper position. Pressing and holding the hopper tilt-down switch will cause the hopper to return to its normal position. When firmly down, the hopper tilt indicator light will turn off. Pressing the hopper door open switch will cause the hopper door to open. An indicator will inform the operator that the door is indeed open. If the hopper is tilted all the way down, pressing the hopper door close switch will cause the hopper door to close. When the door latches, the indicator light will turn off. If the machine has a high dump option, pressing and holding the high dump up switch will cause the hopper to raise to the 9-foot 6-inch or 3-meter dump level. An indicator light will then start flashing. This light indicates that the hopper is not all the way down. In order for this function to work, the operator must hold the service brake or set the parking brake. Pressing and holding the high dump down switch will lower the hopper. Once the hopper is completely lowered, the hopper up indicator light will turn off. The conveyor, main brush, and vacuum fans will stop when pressing the tilt switch, the high dump up switch, or the high dump down switch. On the left side of the steering column are controls for the parking lights, low and high beam headlights, turn signals, and horn. Controls for the windshield washer and wipers are on the right side of the steering column. To run the glow plug system before starting the engine, turn the ignition switch to the accessory position and hold it until the glow plug indicator light turns off. Then turn the ignition switch to the start position to start the engine. The driver's seat is equipped with a lever to adjust the forward and backward position of the seat. A firmness control knob on the front of the seat adjusts it for operator comfort. Note, unless the operator is in the operator's seat, the propelling system will be disabled. Each seat is equipped with a lap-type seat belt. Its use is highly recommended. In front of the operator and above the windshield is a set of switches that control the operational lights, some of which are optional. The switch functions, from left to right, are the four-way flasher switch, flashing beacon switch, the side brush spotlight switch, the optional front night sweeping lights switch, and the optional rear night sweeping lights switch. If the machine is equipped with the optional pressure washer, the switch that controls the pressure washer pump is also located here. In the center of the cab is the optional radio, and to its left is the optional light bar control console. Refer to the operator's manual if your machine is equipped with these options. Before these systems can operate efficiently, there are a few checks that need to be made and some lubricants applied. You should refer to the daily operator checklist provided with your machine while you perform these checks and apply lubricants. The engine air intake should be checked to confirm there is nothing blocking the air intake screen. This can be observed while standing in the right side doorway. Check the engine oil level. If low, add enough of the recommended engine oil to bring the level up to the full mark. Check the engine coolant level in the radiator overflow bottle. The level should be to the middle of the bottle when hot and a little lower when cold. Check the fluid level of the windshield solvent bottle and fill as required. Check the hydraulic fluid level to confirm it is in the lower section of the sight gauge on the tank. As the hydraulic fluid warms up, the level will rise to the center of the sight gauge where it should be when the oil is warm. Next, remove the right main brush compartment cover. Check the right main brush compartment skid for wear and confirm it moves freely. At this point, start the engine, turn on the sweeping systems to lower the conveyor, and turn off the engine. Lubricate the right lower conveyor bearing and each end of both main brush carriage drag links. Lubricate the upper conveyor bearing. Note, all 4 conveyor bearings require lubrication after each 8 hours of operation. Check the right side brush and motor shaft for anything wrapped around them. Also, check the side brush assembly for wear or damage. If the machine is equipped with dry dust control, it will be necessary to remove the side brush dust control skirts when inspecting the side brush assemblies. If the machine is equipped with wet dust control, you should check and adjust the spray nozzles for each brush as you work around the machine. Check the main brush for debris and wear. Check the side and rear skirts for wear or damage. Then reinstall the right main brush compartment cover and secure it. As you work your way around the machine, check all tires for damage and proper inflation. At this point, the engine should be started, the parking brake set, and the hopper door opened by pressing the hopper door open switch. Then turn the engine off. Note: when the engine is started, the sweeping system will return to the normal up position. Make sure that anyone near the machine is clear of moving components. Check the hopper door seal condition. Remove the left main brush compartment cover. Check the left side skirt condition and confirm the skid moves freely. At this point, start the engine, turn on the sweeping systems to lower the conveyor, and turn off the engine. Lubricate the left lower conveyor bearing and each end of both main brush carriage drag links. Lubricate the left upper conveyor bearing, reinstall the left main brush compartment cover, and secure it. If the machine is equipped with the optional left side brush, check the brush and motor and shaft for anything wrapped around them. Also, check the side brush assembly for wear and damage. If the machine is equipped with the wet dust control system, check and adjust the spray nozzles. If the machine is equipped with the optional Vario brush assembly, check for leaks, damage, and brush wear. Next, turn on all the lights and walk around the machine to make sure they are all working. Then, return to the cab, check for proper overhead clearance, 10 feet 1 inch for low dump machines and 16 feet 8 inches for high dump machines. Start the engine and tilt the hopper back by pressing and holding the hopper tilt out switch. When the engine is started, the sweeping system will return to the normal up position. Anytime you will be working around the hopper when it is raised or tilted, you must use the hopper safety devices. The tilt safety device is the same for either low or high dump machines. To deploy the hopper tilt safety device, remove the safety pin from the storage position on the right rear of the machine and place it in the tube between the hopper tilt cylinders. At this time, you can visually inspect the hopper conveyor seal for damage. With the engine speed set to idle, press and release the conveyor directional control switch to run the conveyor in reverse. While standing off to the side of the machine, watch the conveyor system run to confirm there is no problem and listen for irregular noises. Before performing the following checks and applying lubricants, turn off the conveyor systems and the engine. The chains should be cleaned with a low-pressure water hose. Note: care must be taken to keep water away from the engine fuel injection pump, as pump damage could occur. The O-rings and the chain links require lubrication with an engine oil each day and after each 8 hours of operation. Chain oiling ports are provided on each side of the conveyor to make oiling the chain O-rings easier. Next, remove and store the tilt safety device. If your machine is a high dump unit, start the engine and raise the hopper by pressing and holding the hopper raise switch. Remember, for the hopper to be moved, the parking brake must be on, or the operator's foot must be on the service brake pedal. Next, turn off the engine. Note once again, anytime you will be working around the hopper when it is raised, you must use the hopper safety devices. The hopper up safety device is stored in the same area as the tilt safety device. It must be placed between the lift cylinders on the rear of the machine to provide the needed protection. With the hopper raised, walk around the machine checking for leaks and hose or wire damage. Also, Check the hopper position indicator switches for proper operation. Next, remove and store the hopper dump safety device and then start the engine. Lower the hopper and tilt it down into the working position. Turn off the engine and complete the pre-operation checklist. Now, let's put the controls and your machine to work. Once the engine is started and warmed up for a few minutes, increase the engine RPM to 1750 and check the system's indicators like oil pressure, coolant temperature, and the charging system. By pressing the sweeping switch, the main brush and conveyor lower, then these systems and the vacuum fans turn on. If the side brush or brushes are to be used, they will need to be turned on also. By placing the directional control switch in the forward position and depressing the sweeping speed foot pedal, the operator can control the sweeping speed of the machine to around 3 to 5 miles per hour for normal sweeping. While sweeping in dusty conditions, it is recommended that you turn off the sweeping systems, reduce the engine speed to idle, and run the shaker system by pressing the shaker switch. There will be a short delay while the vacuum fans slow down before the shaker system starts working. By running the shaker system often, better dust control can be obtained. When sweeping leaves, the conveyor can be placed in the leaf sweeping position. To engage the leaf sweeping position conveyor blocks, make sure the conveyor is raised, the parking brake is engaged, and the engine is turned off. Next, open the engine compartment doors and place the conveyor blocks in the leaf sweeping position. When you sweep with the machine, the conveyor will only lower to this position and allow better leaf sweeping performance. Conveyor blocks on both sides of the machine must be deployed or not deployed for proper machine performance. To stop sweeping, press the sweeping switch. This will turn off the vacuum fans and raise and turn off the main brush, the conveyor, and the side brushes if they were on. It is recommended that each time you stop sweeping, you use the dust filter shaker system. To dump the debris collected, drive the machine to the dump site. If the machine is a high dump model, press the hopper lift switch and hold it until the hopper is at the desired dumping height. If the hopper will not rise, the machine may be on an incline and the inclinometer has disabled the high dump controls, or the brakes may not be on. If the brakes are on and the hopper will not rise, drive the machine to a level surface. Next, brush the hopper tilt switch and hold it until the hopper is fully tilted. Then press the hopper door open switch. Once you are done cleaning with the machine, there are a few steps that will aid in keeping the machine operating at its optimum level. You should wash the conveyor systems with a low-pressure water hose and lubricate the conveyor chain O-rings as shown before. You should wash out the hopper and filter system with low-pressure water, if required. Next, you should complete the post-operational checklist. There are a few options that you will need to know how to operate if they are installed on your machine. First, let's review the vacuum wand system. To set up the vacuum wand for use, first start the engine and roll the hopper back. Remove the vacuum wand door tool from under the hopper on the right rear of the machine. Lower the vacuum wand door to cover the conveyor opening. Put the vacuum wand door tool back in the holder and lower the hopper to the working position. Increase the engine to full governed engine RPM and press the vacuum fans switch. Note, when using the vacuum wand system, wear hearing protection at all times. Remove the retaining cable clip from the rear of the hopper and remove the retaining clip from the vacuum wand tube. When you have finished using the vacuum wand, return it to its stored position and reinstall the clips. Reduce the engine RPM to idle, turn off the vacuum fans, raise the hopper, raise the vacuum wand door, lower the hopper, and turn off the engine. If the machine is equipped with an optional vario brush, you will find a control panel on the door to the right of the operator. Before you use the vario brush, be sure to remove the keeper pin from the transport pin. It is located on the brush assembly. There are 3 switches and a joystick that control the Vario brush. The switch on top of the control unit lets you control the 2 joystick functions. Pressing the switch to the left side lets the joystick control the Vario brush tilt angles for best performance. Pressing the switch to the right lets the joystick control the Vario brush arm position. Pushing the joystick forward swings the Vario brush arm to the left. Pulling it back swings the Vario brush arm to the right. Pushing it to the left moves the arm to the left side of the machine, and pushing it to the right moves the arm to the right side of the machine. On the side of the Vario brush control unit are 2 switches. The one toward the front of the machine raises and lowers the Vario brush arm. This switch is a 3-position switch. When the switch is placed in the forward position, the Vario brush arm is raised. When the switch is released, the arm will stop at the height selected. When the switch is placed in the rear position, the Vario brush arm is lowered to the free float position. If the switch is placed in the middle position, the brush arm will stay in the position it was in at the time the switch was placed in the middle position. The switch toward the rear of the machine controls the direction of the Vario brush. If the switch is placed in the forward position, the brush turns clockwise. If the switch is placed in the rear position, the Vario brush turns counterclockwise. If the switch is placed in the middle position, the brush does not turn. When you are finished using the Vario brush, you will need to raise it all the way up, swing it all the way to the right, and then shift it to the left until the transport pin engages in the stationary mount. Once this is done, the keeper pin can be placed in the transport pin. Next, we will cover the setup and use of the optional pressure washer system. Fill the solution tank with water. Do not use detergent in the tank or damage to the pump can occur. Start the engine and set the RPM to idle. Roll the hopper back to gain access to the tool tray and turn off the engine. Remove the hopper tilt safety pin from the tool tray and install it in the safety device. Remove the pressure wand and hose from the tool tray and assemble them using the quick coupling. Place the pressure wand pump switch in the on position. Optimum performance will be accomplished with the engine at idle. Increasing engine RPM will not increase the spray pressure. The maximum spray pressure can be set with the knob on the pump, up to 1000 psi. The wand itself has 2 settings that can be controlled by the operator. The handle on the left side of the wand can be turned forward to allow the water to flow through both tubes on the wand, giving a low pressure output for washing the chains in the conveyor. When the handle is turned backward, the water flows through only one of the tubes for high pressure cleaning. This setting should not be used to clean the chains, because damage to the chain O-rings could occur. Note: there is a float switch in the water tank that will turn off the pump if you run out of water. Once you have finished using the pressure washer pump switch should be turned off, the engine should be shut off, the wand handle should be removed from the hose, and both carefully stored in the tool tray. The safety pin should then be removed from the safety device and placed in the tool tray, the engine started, and the hopper lowered. Performing the daily service and checks and following the proper operating procedures for your Tennant Sentinel Power Sweeper will ensure that it will perform in top condition throughout its useful lifetime. You will find it cleans better, has fewer maintenance issues, and effectively enhances your work environment. And we're sure you'll be happy with your Sentinel Power Sweeper for a long time.